Okay, so what you're looking at here, it really does look like a magic trick, right? With just a couple of simple pours, a totally clear liquid suddenly bursts into all these vibrant colors. So is it some kind of clever illusion, or is there something else going on? Well, let's break down the science behind this awesome spectacle.
Yeah, the original video actually called this chemistry's magic. And honestly, you can totally see why. It's a performance, It's designed to blow your mind. But today, we're going to pull back that curtain and show you the real science that makes all this magic happen. So let's just quickly run through what we saw. It all kicks off with a clear liquid and bam! It instantly turns this super bright yellow. Then that yellow stuff gets poured and almost in the blink of an eye, it flashes into this brilliant pink. And for the grand finale, one more pour and it turns into this deep, rich blue. It's like each change gets faster and more dramatic.
Okay, so the big question is, how on earth did that just happen? I mean, when you see something so visually stunning, your first thought is probably, okay, what's the trick? But what if I told you that every single one of those color changes was completely predictable? That you could do it again and again, and it's all just science?
And that's it. That's the big secret. This isn't a magic trick at all. It's actually a super carefully orchestrated chain of chemical reactions. Every step, every single color change is just one chemical process that leads right into the next one. So now, let's break down exactly how it all works.
All right, time for the step-by-step reveal. We're going to look at each transformation one by one to really demystify this whole thing, color by color.
Okay, first up, the yellow. So what's happening here is you've probably got a special chemical called an indicator dissolved in some water. When you add another solution, something acidic or basic, it actually changes the indicator's molecular structure, and that change affects how it reflects light. That's what gives us that instant pop of yellow. And just like that, the first link in our chemical chain is forged.
And then, the pink. So when that yellow liquid gets poured into the next container, it's mixing with a brand new chemical. This triggers a second, totally different reaction. This new substance probably changes the solution's pH level again, but in a big way, forcing that indicator molecule to change its shape once more, and voila! We get this incredible, vibrant pink.
And now for the final act. That pink solution gets poured onto a solid substance. This is probably a completely different type of reaction. Maybe something like an oxidation-reduction reaction, which is famous for creating these super intense colors, like this deep, dramatic blue. So by changing the chemical environment one last time, we get our third and final color. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, but check this out. This is a really fascinating detail from the original video. The final result wasn't just one solid color. It was actually two different shades of blue. And this is such a great example of how chemistry isn't always perfectly neat and tidy. The mix could have slightly different concentrations in different spots, where you could even have competing reactions happening at the same time. And all that creates this beautiful, complex result.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, every single color change we saw was a chemical reaction. And all that really is, it's just a process where your starting ingredients, we call them reactants, rearrange themselves to become something totally new, the products. And as we just saw like 3 times in a row, one of the most awesome signs that a reaction is happening is a big dramatic change in color.
And that brings us right back to our main point, doesn't it? What we just saw wasn't magic. Not at all. It was just a beautiful, beautiful demonstration of predictable science. So let's wrap up with the key takeaways.
Okay, so what did we learn today? First, that you can create these amazing visual effects with some pretty simple chemistry. We also saw how one single experiment can actually have multiple separate reactions going on. And by breaking down a complex event like this, it becomes way easier to understand. And maybe the biggest lesson is that what looks like magic, well, it's often just science that we don't understand yet.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. From the way leaves change color in the autumn to the light from a firefly, our world is just full of things that can seem magical. An experiment like this is the perfect reminder that if you just have a little bit of curiosity, you can find the science behind the wonder. So my question to you is, what magic are you going to try to understand next?